Hello, welcome back everyone. Good day according to your time on I dey laugh my people because e get some things wey be say you go just see, you go ask yourself, who send that person? When you know say you wan enjoy your life, you know say you still dey, you dey hot, you know say you never stop to dey push your womb, you know say your womb still open to any kind of entrances, like anything wey wan enter, you still dey open. Na gala e dey. Why you go come enter marry? I fit talk am 3 days ago say, for me, marriage no be wetin be say everybody must do. Nobody dey ask you make you do am. My question na be say, who send you? If you know say your leg still dey open, anything wey be say dey come na autostrada, highway, na you find pass. Na you come know say, or when you don enter marriage, na you come know say you were open, you were early 20s. Who ask you? Even if you don't marry at the age of 90 years, who go ask you? I beg my people, Mona see this matter by una said, Mona just look into am because me I don't know wetin I wan talk. The thing is just too much.
On a mission to eat every type of man, black, white, chocolate, Chinese, Lebanese, any type of man. I was going to taste all of them. I was adventurous. I was in my early 20s. I was so vibrantly ready to taste every single type of man. So I moved to Shanghai. In Shanghai, I wanted to taste every type of man. Now note that I was living in Lagos. Lagos, all you see is black men. Me, I had a taste for exotic white chocolate men. White chocolate. But all I had was a black man. I had just one boyfriend. So I ended that and I moved to Shanghai to teach dance and English language. Story time, guys. Story time. Stars that make me dance. If you don't want me to sit down, if you want me to dance, then you have to send me stars. And I don't see the stars moving. They're not moving. They're just there. Oh my God, look, I'm already folding almost everything. This is what I should do anytime I'm about to fold. Just start talking to you guys and the folding will get done. So, guys, I moved to China. On a mission to eat every type of man. Black, white, chocolate, Chinese, Lebanese, any type of man. I was going to taste all of them. I was adventurous. I was in my early 20s. I was so vibrantly ready to taste every single type of man. So I got to China, got my apartment, started my job. And on the weekends, I would go to town to get a little bit of taste of life. On my first weekend going out, I downloaded the app called Tinder. Some of you know Tinder, some of you don't. I hear there's OkCupid and many other nice apps to do that nowadays. But back in the day, for all the expatriates in China, Tinder was banned in China. So in order to use Tinder, you have to have a VPN. Yeah, it's illegal to have Tinder in China. So you have to download the VPN and be very sneaky about it. And then you go on Tinder like this secret app. You swipe right on people. And you just see a lot of experts because none of the locals knew about Tinder. It was more of like an international thing. Like a hookup type of site for international experts. So me, I went on Tinder as a Nigerian girl, but I'm young. And I was very, very like, oh, I'm going to get me some, white chocolates. Story time, guys. Stars that make me dance. If you want me to dance, send me stars. So, right after I went on Tinder, I was having a lot of swipe lefts. Because, I had really nice pictures. All the men wanted a little bit of this, So I was like, ooh, it's a lot of attention. I need to sieve through all of this to remove the shaft from the brain, I need to find out who is real and who is not, because if I'm gonna be sexually active with these males, I need to be very careful. And note, I had been very conservative. I come from a very conservative background, so this was just me trying to be explorative. I swiped left on my first hookup. He was a German dude. He walked with a little bit of a limp. You know, but I didn't care because, like, I don't mind a limp. I don't care about physical. For me, it's all about your vibe and your spirit. This German dude, I'm not gonna name his name because he didn't give me rights to name him. But he was nice. He lived in the city. I lived in the suburbs. By the way, Shanghai is a very beautiful city. Very beautiful, amazing for parties, amazing place. Yeah, so he lived in the suburbs. He lived in the city. I lived in the suburbs. And he was cool. He was nice. But do you know what about this guy that was very creepy? We didn't have coitus, if you get me. Nah. Because I was really like, I don't know about this guy. I was really weary. I visited him one time and send me stars. And I visited him one time, and in the weekends, he would just disappear. Like, he would just go and then appear on Monday and say hi. And I'd be like, are you just gonna pretend like the entire weekend you didn't just disappear and like appear in the weekend? Appear like now? Like, dude, you have been AWOL since Friday and you just appear on Monday. Apparently he was like a party animal. And I'm like, okay, you could be a party animal. Like, I love to party too. But, like, why would you just disappear and then appear on Monday and say hi? Like, dude, like, who does that? Anyway, that was that about that. I was like, no, this is a really big red flag for me. Because if you want to party, it's okay. We can both party, you know? So that ended. I went back on Tinder like, I'm not about to do this. I didn't do this in Nigeria. I'm not about to do this in Shanghai. So I swiped left on this doctor dude who like didn't have any rapey vibe. He was cool. He looked like he was like a gentleman. He was cute or whatever. He was cute. I'm not gonna lie, he was really cute. And he had a little bit of a pot belly from drinking a lot of beer. So I'm like, okay, this one is not like all these gym guys. Trust me, I don't have anything against gym guys, but if you're like a gym guy, for me, it just like feels like you're gonna be a little bit conceited. Like you're gonna be about your looks and everything. And that for me, I'm very African like that. I like my man to be, you know, a little bit of, I don't want a man that's gonna be looking in the mirror when I'm looking in the mirror like, That's a little bit too, you know, for me. I need you to be macho. Anyway, so all respect to gym guys, but so a little bit of a pot belly, you know, to show that you're not too conceited and you're sweet and nice and all of that. It's good for me. So if you have a little bit of a pot belly, I'm not saying that that's supposed to be a spec, but the African girl in me is just like, I can't do a lot of like too much muscle type. It's just not my vibe. And I know a lot of women who are like me. Like you can be cute or whatever, but don't be like too ripped and like have to go to the gym every day and you know, like that's not really my MO. Anyway, I swiped left on this dude and we met at the Jingyan station, Zongshan Park. And I came out of the the station because in Shanghai the subway is amazing. You literally don't ever have to have a car. I had a scooter which was an e-bike. I literally charge it like I charge my phone and I just ride to the subway. It worked every time, and it was amazing. I had an accident on it one time. Yeah. Almost lost my head, but it was amazing. It was great. Yeah. So I swiped left on this guy, and then I saw him in the subway. Gosh, was I flabbergasted with what I saw when he came on the subway. He had this e-bike. He was so cute. He had this e-bike. And I remember from, like my memory, I always just keep the best parts of, things. My memory, if my memory serves me right, is one of the most amazing things. Thank you. June, say thank you. I had to go put pants on June so that she doesn't come into the live naked. Yeah, so I swiped left on this guy. Oh, thank you guys for helping me fold these clothes. I appreciate you because you're making me do it fast. I love you. Yeah, so yeah, I have a lot of clothes to fold. But you guys are gonna be with me, right? You're gonna be with me, story time, and I'm gonna tell you all my stories. Okay. So, like I was saying, awesome. So I swiped left on this guy, and then I saw him at the station, and God knows, I was flabbergasted. I was surprised at how beautiful this man was. He looked like the opposite of a catfish. Like when you see a picture of someone and they look, but then you see them in person and you're like, how are you, like, why don't you take better pictures? And it was just a huge turn on for me that he looked so bad on Tinder, but in person he was the most beautiful man I had ever seen, right? And then on the ride to his house, which was in Sangshanlo, which was like Yangping Lo, which was Yangping Road. My Mandarin is still hot. My Mandarin is still good because Justin didn't speak any Mandarin. I spoke. That man was Justin. He was my second swipe. And before I had swiped left on Justin, I had a prayer. I prayed to God. I was like, I'm so lonely in China. I hate it here. I want a man. And God was like, okay, I got you. And then I swiped left on Justin. Justin and I were inseparable since that day. One of the most remarkable memories I have was when we were on the scooter ride and he had no deodorant on. He didn't have any deodorant on at all, but his smell was like the most intoxicating thing. I was just behind him, so the air from his hair and was like I was holding on to him on his like e-bike, and he smelled. I was just like, what is this? He smells so good. How can a human being smell so good and they're not even having any deodorant? And then apparently that's your pheromones. That's like, we are all animals, right? So when your body sees a good mate, like when your body sees someone that they want to produce kids with, they begin to emit this sort of, kind of, goats do it, cows do it, lions do it, every animal does it. Apparently that was what Justin was emitting, and that's what I was inhaling from the back. I was just like, just take me now. Plus, it had been a good 6 months. I had not had any sex. I was literally a virgin at this point. Anyway, so one thing that was like a deal sealant for me with him was we went out. We had the most amazing time. We went to a club. We were dancing. I was dancing on him. It was like so amazing. And when we got home, I was so wasted. In Shanghai, there's this thing called baijiu. Baijiu is like the most horrible liquor you will ever buy. It's cheap. It will give you the nastiest hangover, and it's so horrible for your kidneys. Like baijiu is made from rice, and it's not good. It's cheap liquor, and it's like if you want to die fast, you drink baijiu every. and you know, like when you go to cheap clubs and stuff, they do the drinks with baijiu. So if you like buy a drink that's like 20 kwai, cheap drinks, just know that they're making the drinks with baijiu, which is cheap liquor, and cheap liquor will give you the nastiest hangovers. So you always want to buy more expensive drinks in Shanghai. P.S. That's a tip. Always don't go cheap with the drinks, or buy your own bottles if you don't want to end up drinking baijiu and having the most horrible hangovers. So that night we had been drinking baijiu, and that was my first time going out. So I was so happy, and like I was so like drunk. Take note, I was single, young, and ready to mingle, you know. When we got back to his, because I lived all the way in the suburbs, which was this beautiful town called Thamestown, which was like a remake of London. China is a beautiful place. You guys need to visit there. It's so beautiful. That's our lost city. So I lived in Thamestown, and I meant to his house, and he lived in this penthouse. I was just like, oh my God, you can afford this? Damn. And then I didn't even know what he was. He was the Chinese Olympic team doctor. I didn't even know. I just was like, okay, listen. Looks like you're loaded a little bit. Anyway, so he that night when I went home with him, your girl was gone. Like he could have done anything. That was wrong of me. I should have been more, because he was literally, that was the first night we had met, and I had done it too much with the baijiu, so I was literally gone, which is a horrible thing. Like if it was I could have been gone by now. You guys wouldn't even see Korra or never know Korra. Anyway, Justin, what he did, which was a deal silent for me, was he gave me his bed, went downstairs, put a blanket on the floor and slept downstairs, and gave me his bed in the penthouse and held my hair back while I puked. He held my hair back and I puked to my heart's delights. And then he gave me his bed and gave me water and took care of me. And when I woke up, I was like, oh my God, I am so sorry. I am so sorry. I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. When I went to wash my face, I had seen where I had puked on the floor, and he had cleaned it. I was so embarrassed. I was like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. This is not me. I'm not this person. Oh my gosh. Hi, Daddy, Mommy. Hey, baby. Sorry, I'm just giving story time. Junie, you can never do that with any guy, okay? You have to be very careful and have your guards up at all times. I love you. I love you too. Anyway, so stars will make me dance, so please send me stars. It's story time with Korra. So he had taken good care of me, and he had been a perfect gentleman. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a. So that was like my, oh my gosh, I like this guy because he didn't do anything stupid, you know, and I can trust him. I feel safe around him. And then, but then the deal breaker was, the next day, I washed my face. I had work, so I had to leave. But I could feel a little bit of urgency with him, like he was trying to get me out of his house. So, Justin was the perfect gentleman. But in the morning, there was a sort of urgency and like, okay, get up, you gotta go. And that made me hurt inside, because I thought we had because the chemistry was undeniable, right? But the way he rushed me out of his apartment just made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. And for me, my ego, my ego kicked in, and I was just like, I thought we had a great night. Like, why are you rushing me out? And then I just started to doubt myself. Like, maybe I shouldn't have been so drunk. I shouldn't have let myself go. You know, a lot of things just started playing in my mind, and I just was sad. Anyway, he told me to leave, and I was very sad. He didn't tell me to leave. It was just the urgency as to which he was. Anyway, so he rushed me out of the house. Like he was like saying, you gotta go. A part of me was like, hey, maybe he has work, you know, maybe. But like, if you have work, just tell me, hey, I have work, I gotta go. So you gotta go. He just didn't say anything. He just kind of like, okay, so when are you leaving? You know, and that, I just got your Uber, that kind of vibe. He didn't get me any Uber, but that's, you know, like that awkward moment in the morning where someone is talking about the way I fold clothes. I've accepted that I'm gonna be sharing a lot with you guys, and I'm gonna be open to a lot of criticisms. But if you feel like you have a better way to fold clothes, then fold the clothes. Fold it your own way. I'm not stopping you. You can fold your clothes however you want for your husband. That's your husband. And I fold my own clothes the way I want for my own husband. Some of you have just high standards. That's what makes people not want to share with you. Most of the celebrities want to talk to you. They want to be personal with you. But because you're going to judge them and say, oh, the way she's folding the clothes, though. Oh, look at her stupid hair. Oh, look at her nappy hair. Oh, she's so ugly. They don't want to share. But thank God, I don't even care about those things, because I know God created me so nice. I'm the apple of God's eyes. Anyway, back to the story. Justin and I, after that day, it was just like a little bit awkward. Like, why did you chase me out of your house? Like, even if you had something to do, it was just a little bit weird that you just kind of told me to leave like that. And he could tell. You know what happened? The next day, I was just in my house, just making dinner, and I got a knock on the door. Guess who it was? Justin. He had come 1 hour out from the subway, because I lived 1 hour away from him. He had taken the subway and come all the way to my house just to say hi. I'm like, okay. And then he said, I kind of felt the energy. I felt like you were a little bit, you know, sad. I'm like, I know, I'm okay. Like, my ego was like, I'm okay, I'm fine, you know. And then he was like, let's start over. And so we started over, and we were inseparable since then. And I was like, okay, I like you, you like me, okay, let's do this. That's how we met. Story of how we met. There's more to the story. Stay tuned for part 2. It'll make you want to shout Blippi. Okay, guys, love you. Thank you out of all the stars. That was story time with me. And I'm going to try to put away all these clothes and clean up the floors. And then I'll come right back. Have me. All right, love you. Mwah.